HIBIKI HIGHSPOTS, welcome back. Another random ass occasion, this time with a very special guest. First, I've known this guy for a while now. First time him and I have ever done this one-on-one note. I'm very excited, very pleased to welcome back once again the man behind the plan at Hammers Productions, my buddy Layne. What's going on, man? Welcome to HIBIKI HIGHSPOTS. What's going on? Where can everyone check you out? How you been?
Well, few things. One, let me get the and well, it is I, the quintessential goof maker, Hammers. I always am a fan of Joel Gertner. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, do you have a neck brace on right now while you're saying that?
Maybe. But yes, you can find me on YouTube at Hammers Productions. You can also find me on Twitter at Hammers Prods. I also have a Facebook. I also have an Instagram, but you can't find it because you got them fat asses. Wink.
And you have a 33 and thirds chance of subscribing to his channel. No, it's fucking.
I can't do Steiner math now. I'm just bleh. But yes, this is actually the last time I'll be talking on the internet is with you. So. For a while because I'm moving. I got a new job with the business. I'll say television, video editing, news people. Oh!
Fair enough. Well, I'm glad this is the last round, so to say, for a little bit.
Yeah.
So you get your new setup. Wait to have you back real quick. Hit that subscribe right down below. Subscribe to Layne's channel, also Hammers Productions. On Twitter at the HIBIKI TMD. Check me out. All the goodness. Good to be back. Haven't done a lot in a while. Just real life calls. A little tired. That's okay. It's all right because Christopher Walken was on. He saved the day. Or no, he didn't save the day today, right? The Bears wrecked his day.
It's not over. Bears.
it's like I've had a lot of restaurant jobs. I currently have a restaurant job. Almost at everyone, I always try to like make it a joke to the staff when I get to know them to call our Walken the Christopher Walken, and it's always been a gag. It's like a rib on myself. Like, dude, everyone. I don't know. But these guys aren't giving in yet. I haven't tested it yet. Like, I haven't worked here long enough. But I'm gonna try it because the Christopher Walken is always a good plus to have at your establishment.
Yeah. I've always been a supporter of the Christopher Walken acting fun because nobody is a better actor than Christopher Walken.
And if you disagree, stab you in the face with a what?
I don't know. Just go anyway. Cowbell, that weird dance he did in like that one music video. I mean, anything's possible with Christopher Walken.
I'm picturing, and our theme today, one of our themes is extreme sports games. But I'm picturing Christopher Walken having like voice clips in like a PS1 game, like, you did great. Like if you get like first place or something, like just that would have been awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. It worked so well, and we've only done 2 fucking sound bites. Imagine a whole game, you know?
A whole game. Oh man, I'm just thinking. Like Skate 1, instead of having Retta's voice, it would be just Christopher Walken just saying, "Man, you could have done a better tail slide with that," or something.
Exactly. Or even losing, it would feel good because you got Walken telling you how you could do better or something.
Yeah.
Like, you came close. I can't do Walken like you. You know, something
no.
You do it. I can't.
You could have done better. But guess what? Get back up. We hit this again. Just random Walken quotes in a video game.
And he would get a little R-rated, like, "Nice try, asshole," or something like, I don't know. So much
hey, we gotta keep
that.
we gotta keep it T, okay? We gotta let the children play.
That is true. That's true. The grass is green on their side too.
Oh yeah.
Extreme sports games though, Layne. I've
Hmm.
mainly for me, it's only really been like I never got into the Dave Mirra series a lot. I played them a little bit, but it was always the
Hmm.
skateboarding games, the skate, Tony Hawk, obviously, and the
Hmm.
snowboarding genre was always really fun for me.
Oh yeah. Um, what's the baseline? What was the first one you played?
The very first, I mean, can we go back retro on this? I mean, technically,
Oh, go as far back as you can.
CNC Surf Design, probably, or Skate or Die, obviously, I think was everyone's first. For my generation, I would say, was that
Hmm.
first feel of this is, quote, rad and fucking, 90s and skateboards.
Hmm.
I, I don't know, Skate or Die, something like that. But I mean, obviously, Tony Hawk 1 was the first, like, 3D true skateboard game I remember playing that it blew my mind. I remember it was either one or two, and I talk about it all the time. A broken record about it anymore, but I remember one of the demo discs, the Pizza Hut you could get had one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it had that on there, and I just played the shit out of that. And by the time the game came out, I'd played the demo so much it wasn't as like it was new stages, but I had it on lock already by the time the game came out. I miss those days too of like physical demos,
Hmm.
like in magazines and shit.
Yeah. I've always missed those demos. But to get off topic a little bit,
Yeah,
there's there was one of those like free like you get with like a box of like cereal or something. Captain Crunch had a great one for PC. That was amazing. I forget what it's called, but I think like JonTron reviewed it like a few like months ago. But those free like games, free demo games
yeah.
are always the best to have.
And it was like I blame Burger King. They killed it. They were like the
Oh
last
yeah.
free game, and they fucked it up. Those
What
sloppy
was it like?
sandwiches that are always a mess by the time you get home and go to eat it. The toppings are everywhere, and the game sucks, and their food sucks. Fuck you, BK.
Too much mayo for me. But
Sloppy.
I always loved Sneak King. That was always a great game. Uh,
For free. It was a good game.
well, yeah, I got mine for 99 cents, but that was like a
Well,
few months ago. But who cares?
this is '06 prices, guys. Inflation. Fucking.
Yeah.
What about you?
I,
What was the first one you remember playing, extreme sports wise?
now, this has been because I started out late as a gamer. I started when I was like 13, 14 when I started playing video games. Because my parents were kind of a little hesitant on letting me play video games. But they caved into the pressure and got me um, they got me at Costco a PlayStation Slim. They just came out, and so I started playing that. And the first actual extreme sports game was ATV. Was one of those ATV games. I think it was either 3 or 4 that I got. It came with the PlayStation. Um,
Yeah,
and I
those were
think
fun.
also, oh yeah, those were always fun.
I remember MX versus ATV Unleashed, or one of them was really
Oh
fun.
yeah, those were I they're not the greatest games in the world, but for extreme sports games, they're perfect.
And I
I
feel
think
like
they're
they're
just
as advertised. I mean, they're a little bit in depth, but the
Mhm.
mechanics wise, they're not perfect. But they're fun
Yeah.
for they're a good little time killer. They get the job done. And you can spend a lot of time with those and not realize it, just trying to unlock
Hmm.
stuff and earn money. So yeah, they're good.
The ski jump in the ATV games always was great.
Yeah,
You were always going back up to the top and trying to do backflips
it's
because
weird too.
that's the
Like
hardest thing.
it's weird too. Like when we say extreme sports, just the term. I don't even. It's weird that I don't think ATV. I immediately think skateboarding, obviously.
Yeah. The- it's always been trying to figure out what fits in extreme sports. It's always been like the most difficult thing to do. But the one thing I could always think of was the first actual like extreme sports game I actually ever played wasn't actually the ATV game. That was when I first actually owned it. But when I actually started playing, like the first actual extreme sports game I ever actually played was Downhill Domination. That was always, always like great to play. It like mountain biking games, 2001, 2002, maybe, if I remember correctly off the top, maybe even three. But that game always seems to, when I go back and play it, like I just have it right now on my PlayStation 2, and I still play it to this day. I think that's underrated extreme sports game, and I never understood why they never did it too. Never did.
I've heard nothing but good things about that game.
I know. It's why wasn't there a second? That's always like bugged me.
And I'll come clean. I've still never played that game to this day. Actually,
Oh, it's
I need to remedy
if
that.
if you can find it, which I don't know where you can find it, but it's always a great game to play. I won't give too much away, but I would say, what's my favorite levels in those games? Um, Utah and what's the other one I can think of off the top of my head? And I think it's like Canada. Yeah, it's the Canada and the Utah levels are always great to play when you're just bored. It's beautiful countryside. I mean, you're going too fast to see it, but you can find Bigfoot in Canada. That's great.
If anything, at least
the
one day I'll get the emulator and review it or something.
Oh
Check
yeah,
it out.
it's perfect game to play. I if you can find it, go play it.
People would
That's the one.
say maybe Wave Race and maybe Hydro Thunder, but dare I say Star Wars Pod Racers? Those aren't extreme sports games. But I do
No, no, no.
remember as far as racing stuff, it wasn't the game wasn't extreme sports, but San Francisco Rush had the stunt tracks, which were awesome for its
Oh
time.
yeah, yeah. That was one of those games I've never played, but I've seen like stuff about it, and it was always great.
Yeah, so I guess that counts. Road Rash, I'm gonna say fuck it. It's extreme sports to me. It's Road Rash. It's extreme. You're killing people. You're on a bike. It
Yeah,
counts.
yeah, I would agree. Um, hmm. Now, can I bring up a debate that I think may be overused? I'll say skate versus Tony Hawk.
Sure.
On which side do you prefer to play? Do you prefer playing the Tony Hawk series, or do you prefer playing skate?
Now I would skate because skate perfected it is what it
Mhm.
is. Tony Hawk's. I mean, yeah, it's at this point it's nostalgia, but they were arcade. I mean, it depends what you want though too. I mean, obviously it's a simulation with skate as opposed to what
Mhm.
Tony. I mean, even Tony Hawk got really good by like Wasteland and Wasteland 2 and stuff like that. Underground was pretty good. I remember. Um,
Mhm.
I skate. You like Skate 2 the most. I still like Skate 3 the most.
Yeah. Uh, what I think is, I think Tony Hawk is better than Skate. Now, the reason why I say that is because when Skate 3 came out, I thought that it was not as good as Tony Hawk's worst game out at the time, which would have been what would that game be at the time?
No, it wasn't Ride. It was
No, it would have been Proving Grounds. Proving Grounds. I thought Proving Grounds was better than um, Skate 3.
I didn't play
And
that. I think I fell off after like Wasteland.
yeah, so the I think the evolution goes Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, 2, then they had 2X, which I still haven't played. I have the game, but I still haven't played that. Skate 3, or not Skate 3, um,
Tony Hawk
Pro
3.
Skater 3, which I think is the best out of the series of Pro Skaters.
Just because of the boat level.
Oh, yeah. Cruise is always great to play. Then they had 4, which is, I think, a step up from 3, but still 3 is the best. Then you go into Thug, which is their story one.
Right.
Now, that one, I think, is the best story out of the three, but I don't say that is the best Tony Hawk game. Then you have Thug 2, American Wasteland. Now, American Wasteland is their best game by far. And I know people will say, why not the Pro Skater games? Because that one perfected the open world element.
Skate came out and it tried to do what Skate was doing with the sticks and fucking.
Yeah.
And it worked.
But you see, I never started playing Skate until after I played the American Wasteland.
Right. I remember. Do you remember when the first Skate came out? Just seeing it in magazines, like it was a big deal at the time because nobody had really gone up against Tony Hawk, the franchise, either, like that.
Well, you see, I never was into gaming news. I was always just, I see a game and I say, let me try this out. Let me play it out at friends' places and see what happens. Because Skate, I never played Skate until 2008. Not in 2006 was when Tony Hawk came out, and that was the only thing I knew about. So then American Wasteland, Project 8, what's the next one?
Well, I feel like
Downhill.
when I fell off at Wasteland 2, I felt like, because it was really good. I played it on 360 is what I had it for, and I was like,
yeah.
I can't get better than this. So I guess I kind of just, I never really cared about any other ones after that. If anything, I would just play that because obviously it went downhill from what we would see with the dumpster fire that was the last one. Not this one that just came out, but the one before this. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. What was it?
6.
No.
5.
5. Pro Skater 5. Shred It. Ride It. Then it was, what was that other one? Yeah, Proving Ground. Then it was Project 8. So yeah, Project 8 was another story. Proving Ground, I thought was better than Skate 3, which came out at the same time, or was it same time?
Jeez, see, there's so many. I'm mixing it up too. Project 8 was the one they started trying to do what Skate was doing with the sticks, not Wasteland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, there's so fucking many, and I get it. I love franchises that have a ton, but these, it gets to that Madden territory with me after a while, you know.
Never gotten to Madden, we'll say, but the Tony Hawk series always seems to me the better series instead of the Skate games. I love the Skate games. I've always loved the Skate games. But when it comes to playing, would I rather play a game that tries to act authentic and people just abuse it for not being authentic? Or do I play a game that's meant to be outrageous, crazy shenanigans and does it well? I'll pick the shenanigans over the authentic failure.
And most times in life when there's shenanigans usually involves fun. And if the game's fun, you're exactly right. I think that's all it really should be at the end of the day. And it's not fair to label them all like that just because there's so many. Definitely. Now, here's one too. I'll throw you away. Is it or isn't it Mutant League Football / Mutant League Hockey? That's tough. You're killing people. That's extreme.
Yes, but that's the requirement of the game. Because with extreme sports games, you're meant to push the boundaries yourself. When it comes to like mutant football, you're expected to do that. Extreme sports games has
the risk of
yeah. So you're pushing the boundaries with extreme sports games.
Any surfing game, I feel like would.
Exactly.
What about Windjammers for Neo Geo? You could take a disc to the throat and you're dead. Well, you can't do that in the game, but I'm imagining if it was a real sport because they're discs. You know what game I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I think that's still a little. I wouldn't personally say it would be, but I'm betting other people would. Again, it's the idea of with extreme sports games, you're supposed to kind of push the limits of the game and just think of different ways of doing stuff. Being creative with the game. I've always had that mindset with extreme sports games. If you can produce something that the game in the cores of the game that you didn't think anybody else could do, then that qualifies as kind of extreme sports games. For
Good.
Yeah,
No, good.
for like a skate game, you have these many tricks that you can do, but you can do a trick one way and somebody else can do another trick another way and do it at kind of like different spots, or do something completely different at the same spot. That's kind of always been the ideal for extreme games for me, is being able to do same tricks at different places, or doing two different tricks at a same place that people thought of differently.
The Matt Hoffman, Dave Mirra series. Now, were you as drawn to that as the skateboarding genre?
As of recently, yes, but when I was living in California at the time, I was more interested in the skate series of games and stuff like that. That drawed my attention more than BMX at the time. What else? What else was really tickling my fancy?
I know everyone's probably been waiting the whole episode for us to bring up the fucking Disney game that was actually a pretty good game. I know they've been waiting on it because I know you love that game. It's a good game. It's surprising how good it is and fun.
Yes, it's just pretty much just a Tony Hawk engine, pretty much, with Disney just splattered all across it. It is the most self-promoting video game of all time. You got McDonald's, Nokia, Tarzan, Toy Story,
Stitch,
The Lion King. I mean, you just have this self-promoting brand with a Tony Hawk engine on it, and it was fantastic.
It's probably also the most self-aware game too. Like they're ripping off
yeah.
also on top of it, probably one of the most, maybe the most successful franchise at the time, because it was insane how I feel like, because we're pretty much the same age. We come from that generation where like we saw the early '90s and late '80s, all the uprising and popularity, and just in a pop culture with skateboarding, like you saw the Simpsons. Bart was cool because he's skateboarding, and just the Turtles and all the skateboarding was awesome. But I feel like when the Tony Hawk games came out, it was even more fucking mainstream because just like everybody liked those games. I'd never like jocks would play with nerds and fucking just everything when I was younger, and it's one of those games like a GTA, I feel like, that were so mind blowing. They truly brought different groups of people together that normally wouldn't play or hang out together.
Call of Duty did the same thing, I think. But let me think of one really quick that would have brought a lot of people together. I mean,
Fortnite. Currently.
Fortnite. Yeah, Fortnite has been doing that as of recent. Rock Band. Rock Band. Guitar Hero. Stuff like that. You bring music people with nerds. That's just a combination of just shenanigans.
Yeah.
Let's see. What was some really weird ones? Oh, here's one game that I've always played. The Thrasher game for PlayStation 1.
Yeah, I have played that.
That was always a great one. I've always thought if Rockstar were to ever revisit an idea, that game would have been the one that I thought would be perfect to revisit.
At least remaster it, if anything. Because that goes under a lot of people's radar. A forgotten game, I feel like.
Yeah, but that one in how do I say it? Seeked out new ideas for skateboarding games in general. The cop aspect, where you're able to look at the cop's viewpoint when you're skating and trying to steer away from him as much as you can possible. That idea would have never been thought of in a skate game or a Tony Hawk game at all. And so if Rockstar were to ever jump up and buy the copyrights for a skate game or for even Tony Hawk, if they just re-engineer the Thrasher system and installed it into one of those new versions of the game and added the walking and the simulations of stuff like that, I think that could pretty much sell 1 million to 10 million for sure.
Oh yeah,
Copies.
guaranteed. Guaranteed. That also bring up this too on the theme. It's mind blowing to think that as big as the original Wii was, what motion control was doing, it blows my mind that there wasn't one successful extreme sports game with motion control. It seems like peanut butter and jelly. A match. If anything, you could use the Wii remote and make a tech deck game. Because I loved tech decks when I was younger. I'd fuck with my tech deck in school all the time. There you go. You notice anything, but
Yeah.
nothing at all.
I will say this. I was actually a fan. My brother had a Wii, and so he got Skate It on the Wii. It wasn't the best game in the world, but it was good enough for someone to play it. Another game that I think was always better on the Wii than on a PlayStation or an Xbox 360 was Shaun White Snowboarding. Shaun White Snowboarding was always better on the Wii than on any of the consoles.
That was another fun franchise. I never played it on the Wii. What was it about the Wii you feel like that made it just the premier version?
It just felt more steady on the Wii than on any of the other systems. When I played it on when I played the skate version, the skate version was better on the main consoles than on the Wii. But when it came to the snowboarding, it always seemed just better. I don't know if they just perfected the engine in the snowboarding game on the Wii and then just tried their best to make it like better on the other game or on the other systems. It just always felt the Wii version of the snowboarding game, of the Shaun White snowboarding game, was great, especially the Target exclusive. That one was also really, really good.
You're making me. You're really doing a hell of a job selling me on wanting to buy this for my Wii. Probably not that expensive.
I'm betting it isn't, but the game itself, me personally, it's maybe not the opinions of people out there, but that game was always great to have. If you needed something to play and you didn't want to play like a skateboarding game or a snowboarding game on like a main console, turn on your Wii and play Shaun White Snowboarding.
Is there
always great
an unlockable where you can be Rocky Dennis instead of Shaun White?
No, you couldn't. I don't think so off the top of my head.
It's a worst joke ever.
But I always played as what's his name now? He was the only guy that I always played with. I never really was interested in the women in that game, but the men. Oh, what's the guy's name? He was just a big burly dude. He looked kind of like like think of well, yeah, but he was a little shorter, a little bulkier, and was just really, really good. He was kind of out of place a little bit because he was when you go up to like the slopes in California, you always see white people there, and it was always weird when you got that one like African American dude or that Latin person that would just snowboard there. It was always weird. But
would just everyone stop and be like, look,
no, it wasn't even that. It was
race
just
his ass fucking down on that. Like it would just be this ordeal when this colored man would put on snowboarding boots and step onto the hill.
no, because they were actually really good. Like they were really, really good. And it was just like, whoa, wow, like that's actually pretty awesome to see someone like that. Because it's always been the monotony of having the white people show up and do their thing. But when you see like brother do it and do it way better than the white people, like, yeah, I'm down. I'm willing to go up to that next level with him. It was always that, and it's always with that with extreme sports. It's always trying to perfect it and then go up to the next level of perfection with extreme sports games. Always has been.
I feel like it's time to rip the band-aid off on the topic. Let's get it over with. What went
Yeah,
wrong with Tony Hawk's Ride, Layne?
everything, everything went wrong. The the actual board, I bought Ride thinking, oh, this is going to be a pretty swell game. My brother was all like, yeah, I agree. We bought it for the Wii. Um, I think that was our first mistake. Um, the game controlled like crap. Um, the only way you could actually do anything was you had to do like the easiest mode that they had there, and that was the pre-guided line. And all you would have to do is kind of jump, because when you did any sort of moving, like in the freelance mode or whatever, you would just fall every single time. It wasn't even fun anymore. It just the actual controller just felt like a janky piece of like,
Shit. Cheap piece of
yeah,
shit. That's
yeah,
in this oversized bullshit box. I remember at the time that like stores would proudly display when it first
oh
came out.
yeah,
I feel like the tech obviously wasn't there. They should have
no,
waited. Obviously,
oh yeah,
um,
the
miserable, fucking miserable. One of the most
yeah,
frustrating gaming experiences and disappointing probably I
mhm,
can recall ever having. I
yeah,
remember being hyped for that. Like whoa. Like what I'm saying earlier, it feels like that would have been a match made in heaven, a peripheral like that
hmm,
with just, but say la vie.
yeah. Um, I've always said this. Project 8 was the downfall of the Tony Hawk series. It was it was the peak, but it kind of sloped down a little bit. What really failed in the Tony Hawk series was the Ride series. The Ride Shred It series, and then Pro Skater 8 came, or Pro Skater 5 came out, and that was the nail in the coffin for the Tony Hawk series.
Oh yeah, back to back fucking devastating blows. And I think Ride
Hmm.
was the one that tested everyone's loyalty, just being like, fuck these assholes,
Yeah.
that's what you gave us. And then with 5, like you said, man, it was ooh, not pretty.
You see, I was the idiot for doing it because I didn't listen to the reviews before getting the game. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to give this game a chance. Let's see what happens. I buy it for digital copy because I wasn't going to display this anywhere on my shelf. Um, First day I got it, bought it for Xbox 360 because I didn't want to use the online servers. I never play online video games because my internet's just crappy. So I bought it for the Xbox 360 knowing that I wouldn't be able to play online. First thing I did, first thing that it did, I had to wait 2 hours for it to update.
Ugh,
that part
fuck.
really that part really grinded my gears. Then I play it. You don't have good double taps. The stomp system for the grinds was just terrible. I used it twice and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to turn this off. I turned it off immediately and it still was crap.
Plus, so many stories of people's breaking, and within like the first couple uses too. Not like they were
Yeah.
wear and tear. No, they're just fucking breaking out of the gate. I remember people were
Yeah.
pissed. People, I remember. reading articles, people just demanding their fucking money back and not getting it and just being in an uproar because it was such bullshit and just they embarrassed themselves. That was the first time the series, like Project 8. Yeah, it was a step back because they tried to be the status quo now. What Skate was trying to be, right? You know, just stick to your guns. Don't try to be like anybody else if it still works. But that's what they did. That's what happens in business. But this one was just like a baseball bat to the stomach. Just whoa.
But yet, I say Proving Grounds is still an okay game because they tried to utilize what they did in Project 8 and then just kind of expand the idea and see where things could possibly land.
Is
Like
that
they
where we're
added
at now? Is that the newest release? I believe.
the Proving Grounds.
What is the newest Tony Hawk release that didn't come
That
out
was
not
that
too
was
long?
that was Pro Skater 5.
Okay, that was the last one. I didn't know why I thought there was another
Mhm.
one after that that was better, but
They were going to release a mobile game before Pro Skater 5, and it was only released in like Argentina. Um, I don't know why, but it was just released in Argentina, and it was just going to be kind of like what Temple Run would be, but for skateboarding. And I looked at the demo. I was like, it's not that bad looking. I think if it was released in America, I think people would have liked it, and I think that would have been a saving grace for the Tony Hawk series. But they didn't release it, and they gave us Pro Skater 5. Now, I don't know how you can save the genre of skateboarding games, but releasing a Pro Skater 6 is not going to do it.
I've been mistaking myself all episode thinking there was a six all along because that's how lost I am in the series at this point because it just
Yeah.
buried itself.
And thank you, Tony Hawk, for not renewing your license with Robomoto, because with that being out of the way, Tony Hawk can now do whatever he wants with his video gaming license, we'll say. Thank God. Man.
On the other end, though, the Skate series, like you said earlier, two is your favorite. The first one, though, let's talk about that real quick. Did you play?
Mhm.
You played them in order when they were released? Like you played one first.
So here's what I'll say with both series. The Tony Hawk series, I always do this. Whenever I feel like doing it or playing a series, I will always do a marathon, a Tony Hawk marathon, or a kind of a what's it called, a skateathon, as I call it, and just play those games back to back, almost nonstop. I mean, I'll take the break every once in a while, the switching of the games and stuff like that, but I will always play them back to back nonstop until I feel like I can't do anything else more. And then I'll take like whatever break I need and then go back to the series and continue on playing until I reach the pinnacle, the top, the cream of the crop, I'll say. With the skate series, when I first played it, I played Skate 1. I actually played Skate 2 first, then 3, then 1. And the only reason why is because I didn't own 2, I didn't own 3, but then I got my own Xbox and got 1, 2, and 3 all at the same time, and then played those in a row. Skate 1 was always the foundation, was always great to play. When you wanted to go back to the basics of how a skateboarding game should be made, you always go back to Skate 1 as your foundation. It had everything you needed to kind of start gathering the idea of using the flick system. It was always a great learning tool to learn from the flick system. Then Skate 2 came out, and Skate 2 improved on that flick system and really hardened up the gameplay, the mechanics of it.
It made it a well-rounded package. It took the foundation and it finished the house. Basically,
Yes,
it wasn't just
it
working on the.
Skate 1 was the skeleton, and then Skate 2 was the fancy furniture
Yeah.
and just the decor of the place.
You
It was
bought
a
the
nice.
house basically with one, and then you
Mm,
moved in with two, is what it was.
yes, yes. Then the bastard son decided to
The
destroy the
bastard
house,
son. God,
and
I've never met someone that didn't not think Skate 3 was good, but you just hate Skate 3 so much.
it's I still play it. I never deny playing it, but it's always been to me the child who ruined the house that was going to be a promise. Now, for two reasons, I despise the series. I will give praise and credit to most of it, but the two things that I absolutely hate about Skate 3, one, easy mode. You should never put on an easy mode for a skate series. You should always have a normal and a hardcore. The hardcore is always for those people who are really wanting that authentic skateboarding game. And normal people who like how Skate 2 was played and just kind of wanted to advance into more tricks and more athletic conferences. Skate easy mode is just for those people who thought Tony Hawk was an okay game, but Skate 3 was the thing. It was the shit to play. It was just this monotonized piece of garbage mode that you didn't really just. Meh. It's always nasty to me with people who say, "Oh, I like playing Skate 3. What difficulty do you play on? Easy mode." You son of a bitch.
What if they play on normal mode? Is that acceptable?
I I have no problem with people playing on normal mode. People who play on easy mode are just like,
Pussies. Just say it. They're
well,
pussies. You want to
I
say
won't
it.
I don't want to say pussies because that deteriorates the name of pussies. They're garbage. They're people of garbage.
They're subhumans. They're garbage humans.
You know, like Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street.
They're in there
They're
playing their
they're
fucking
worse
game.
than Oscar.
I think Skate 3, obviously with the easy mode, also they try to bring younger, kids into it who they could
Oh
actually
yeah.
unlock stuff without trying, which is so many games do that now. Though it's like, the most criminal one I think is Super Mario 3D World. Like eventually, if you keep dying, get the white Tanuki suit, and you can just you're invincible
Yeah.
for every
Yeah.
goddamn stage.
Yeah. What's the other one? The second reason why I don't like it is the YouTubers who piggyback on the series and just make it monotony to just say this is the best skate game of all time. This is the greatest thing that ever was made. If they can make a Skate 4 and do it just like this, then it would be perfect. Just stop it, please. No. Just no. No. No.
What if they do though? What if Skate
If they
4
make
is
a
announced
skateboard,
tomorrow on Memorial Day? That's the news.
listen. Here's what you should do. If they do make a Skate 4, here are the top 5 things. If they were going to make a Skate 5 game or Skate 4 game that they need to have involved. First, remove easy mode. Second, make it like what it was in Skate 2 and Skate 1. Open world. You don't need to do the 3-level design that's like 3 little open worlds. No. If you're going to do the 3 little open worlds, please make there a way to connect to those because I like it when it's connected. And
I never thought Skate would make somebody so insane out of anger.
I know. Skate number 3, do a day and night mode. Tony Hawk did a great day and night mode with Thug 2. It was great. It was awesome. I digged it because it felt like you were playing just perfect times. It make you felt like you were going through the day and night process of like a skateboarding game. You could play at night and it felt cool. And if you were playing during the day, it was cool.
I
Number 4.
I hope they release it now, and I hope they add that. But every time it changes the night, I hope it stops and the text comes up, "What a horrible night to have a curse," and you got to wait, and it's gonna frustrate you.
Oh yeah,
See what I did there? With yeah.
yeah. 4. Please remove the building aspect. The skate series was never meant to have a park builder. It was always to, if you're going to have a park builder, make it the light version where you're able to put objects in places.
I
I'm
never
cool with
messed
the
with it too
object.
much. It seemed frustrating, and it was I don't know. I couldn't put shit where I wanted to. Basically, it wouldn't let me, and I just gave up.
Yeah. You see, Tony Hawk perfected park builders. I was a park builder myself. I loved making parks that just were cool and I thought were awesome. Don't touch park builder anymore. Put objects out there. I'm perfectly fine with object dropping more than I am with the park builders that they do. It's just meh to me.
Yeah.
And then the 5th thing, please, for the love of God, add Big Black into the series because Big Black was always great to have. Oh, and there's also a 6. Please do not bring back Hall of Meat. Hall of Meat is a terrible game, and the only reason why Skate 3 got re-popular again was because people decided to be idiots and decided to just, goof around and do kind of stupid stuff.
Hall of Meat was actually really gross. Some of it, I was like, I don't even want to
Yeah.
play this. That's fucking gross. The last one before we move on to our other topic, just for time reasons. Trials would be maybe the newest one I could think of as would that count as an extreme sport? Because you can do tricks. There's
Yes.
challenges.
Yes. The only reason being why is because, again, with extreme sports games, and I'll always come back to this topic, it's to be different in so many different ways. You try to find different ways of playing it, whether it be more speed oriented, or more of a conservative player where you're wanting to do tricks, but yet at the same time be a little bit faster than all the other people that you're ghosting or whatever. Doing different like vehicles and stuff like that. I've always thought the Trial series was a great kind of technical motocross game that kind of bounded off of the 80s and 90s style, because I've always been interested in not just the video game portion of extreme sports, but also the actual extreme sports itself. I've always been a fan of skateboarding. I'm still skating to this day. BMX riding. I've always loved watching BMX riding. Dave Murrah is one of my favorites. Matt Hoffman, a legend, a beautiful, beautiful bastard. Colin McKay of skateboarding legend is a great skateboarder. Chris Cole, my favorite skater of all time, has been in so many video games over the years, and I've always played as Chris Cole when I do like a free play mode of any sort.
I'm guilty. I was always Mullen or Kareem Campbell. Those are my two favorite guys.
Oh yeah, those in Tony Hawk series, I was Rodney Mullen. Always was Rodney Mullen.
Because I've always been such a bigger fan of street than like vert stuff in general. And Mullen's like the god of fucking street. Let's be real.
Yeah, but if I was to ever do vertical skating, I was always Bob Burnquist. Bob Burnquist and Chris Cole
Oh,
are.
Air Christ. Fuck yeah.
Oh yes, both of those guys are always my favorite skaters to play as. They always have been.
For a while, wasn't Burnquist the only one that did Air Christ? Wasn't that him?
Yeah. No, it was actually who was it? He was the originator of the Air Christ, but then Danny Way came into the world and decided to perfect it. So
Yeah.
with Danny Way, Danny Way would always extend it a little bit more. He would always hold on to it just a tiny bit more than Bob would. But when Bob did it, it was a perfect extend, bring it back in. But with Danny Way, he extended it just that tiny bit more. It just landed it perfectly. And I've always been a fan of Danny Way, but Bob and Chris always will be my favorites.
I think one of the things that I think any good extreme sports game has to be that
Mhm.
they're very addicting. Especially, we're just talking about Trials games. The second Trials game, Evolution, is
Mhm.
probably my favorite. I think
Yeah.
Trials Fusion, the last one, suffered from what you were talking about earlier with that
Mhm.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it thing with Skate 3. In a way, they
Yeah.
added easier modes. It just didn't have the same feel. 2 was like the ultimate. It was so good. I still go back and play that. But Tony Hawk games too. The brilliance of how they pulled off the button corporation of like kind of like a fighting game at the time. Input this to do the move. It
Mhm.
was very addicting to learn. It made you, for as many times you kept fucking up in Air Christ or whatever, it made you want to keep doing it so many times over and over to nail it.
Mhm.
It was very
It's always been, it's not just the addiction, it's actual life. When you're trying to pull off a trick and you're taking your time and you're just grinding it out, and when you land it, it's that euphoria of just like, yeah, I did that. That's always been the part of skateboarding as well. I've felt that myself when I've skated. It's always just that it's that euphoria of just finally like saying, yes, I did that.
It's the same
That's my
feeling why
jam.
you frustratingly die over and over in like I don't know Ninja Gaiden 2, and you just keep coming
Hmm.
back for more because you want to beat it. It's that same
Yeah,
feeling for anyone
it's
that's never
that
tried skateboarding.
it's that euphoria.
Yeah, and that's what's one key thing all these things have in common. And extreme sports games are really fun. I don't know how it's possible. Anyone that's listening to this, I'm sure, has played at least one of these games lately.
Hmm.
But yeah, if you haven't, get on that stuff. Get on that stuff. And we told you the good ones and what to stay away from. Speaking of what's good and what to stay away from, let's talk YouTube personalities. All
Wait, before we go, I just remembered one thing.
right.
SSX has always been a better snowboarding game than anything else. I'll just say that.
Yeah, we didn't really touch on some. That's got to be a part two. Snowboarding games, I
Yeah.
feel like.
Yes.
Because there's a lot, and I actually have a lot to say, but I want to go back and play more that I remember
Yeah.
before we do that. SXX can suck it though. See, we'll
uh,
come back to that debate. Uh, YouTube personalities though. I mean, a lot of a big. I will say it was a tragedy. Anyone that dies sooner than they should, unless they were, murder in the first place or something else horrible, it sucks.
yeah.
I just saw that happen the other day. People are on both sides of the fence, obviously, but the Jew Warriors stuff was another one that's gone down recently, which was
Yeah.
disgusting and just shocking, quite frankly. But besides that, I mean, what can you say at this point? We were talking off air, it's gimmick. Everyone's got the thing, their niche, what they do, and it's cool. It is cool. I feel like still,
Hmm.
it's a good thing, you know. But B,
It's
there's so many negatives with that.
I've always compared this YouTube personalities. It's just pretty much just wrestling all over again. There's like different people have different gimmicks. There's just a whole wide variety of just shenanigans, and I love it. I've always said with YouTube, the person with the biggest gimmick of all time is going to get the biggest horse. And PewDiePie is one of those people with just a fabulous gimmick of just being just a nut job of just weirdness. It's always been great. iDubbbz, I think, is one of the most underrated YouTubers of all time, and I think he is just flexing his potential. I think there's more that could be shown with iDubbbz than anybody else.
Yeah, and
Um,
that's another thing. It's kind of like you equate it to pro wrestling for like every ECW. You can say like internet blood sports genre. You got your Dan TDMs over here, like Nitro and '95 or something.
yeah, you you have these popular kind of just streams. I would say blood sports to me would be ECW.
Yeah,
It has this big huge cult following, hardcore in your face. meh. And
Gritty,
then
mom and pop feel still, not too big for its own britches yet. Still that, underbelly
D
type atmosphere.
DIY is best what it's called.
Yeah.
Just do it your way and do it with style.
And let's be real,
Um,
you and I are in different genres too. We both dabble in all, we're both hybrid channels or whatever we do, but we're all
I,
getting our asses kicked by children's content. Let's admit it. As much
I turn on my Roku app and turn on to YouTube. First thing I see, toy channels everywhere. it's it's a weird genre. Toy channels have always been just odd to me. Like unboxing Kinder eggs or a Minion egg or Billy Loves Tommy egg. It's always been just a weird like place where children open up things and enjoy it. It's just like, what is this? I thought this was YouTube, not AOL video.
I can
This is
speak.
just odd.
You know what musically is? I can speak as a father of three. My kids watch anything. It's fucking ridiculous. And it's like we all tap, we all bow down, we get that out of the way. We admit children's content's far superior. They're the kings, they kill it. But other than that, it's so true when you say it's like the territory days or like just characters or whatever in wrestling.
Yeah. It's just weird what YouTube has become, because it originally was just, let's put out everything and see what happens. And now whole entire like territories, even YouTube has noticed it. There's like sports, live, news, how to, entertainment. Yeah, so many different territories. Hot damn, this is like NWA kind of stuff. Hot damn.
And also in a way, it's like video games to keep it, the other end of the channel type.
Oh,
It's like the video game crash. It oversaturated. It's too much now. Nobody's winning. It's getting
yeah.
worse.
I'm about ready to have a Vimeo account just to get my videos out there. Hot damn.
Is tout still a thing? No, I'm kidding. Fuck that.
Tout, 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 tout.
Poor Kurt Hawkins.
I will say this. I actually downloaded Tout just for Daniel Bryan.
I downloaded tout. I remember whenever it was like do it, and I couldn't figure
Oh
it out.
yeah.
I remember, like I gave up before doing anything.
Oh, it was. I only downloaded Tout just because Daniel Bryan wanted to do the Tout version of Talking Smack, and I'm like, yes, I want that.
I strictly
I want that so bad.
I strictly remember though, like in the infancy of YouTube, like way back when,
Mm,
07, 06, using YouTube strictly for like walkthroughs or cheats. Like if I was stuck in like Metroid Prime, I'd look up a walkthrough. That's what I use YouTube for
mm,
mainly, was, and to see what you're right. It's like a network now, live streaming news all the time, right on the
mm.
homepage. You're not even signed in. You can just access. It's insane what it's become, but the oversaturation, like we were saying, it's the nasty underbelly of it, plus just the titty thumbnail pics. Let's get that
Yeah.
band-aid off to it. That's a whole other end, but that's also become a major problem. A lot of people have different opinions on it. I mean, it's not overdone. I mean, whatever. It's
Yeah. Boobs in the thumbnail. Always been a fan of doing it once or twice. If you oversaturate your thumbnails with just boobs everywhere, you're killing your gimmick right there. You just kind of need to simmer it down. You could bring out the tombstone every once in a while. I mean, do the Kenta Kobashi thing. You bring out the burning hammer every once in a while. You don't do it every single match, because when every single match has a burning hammer, you're going to be breaking people's necks way too often.
exactly. Unless you're Masato Tanaka. Apparently, you can just do anything every match, and you're timeless.
Yeah.
You never age. How did we get here to Masato Tanaka? Fucking, he probably has a YouTube channel by now, doing vlogs of like sushi tasting or some shit.
Listen, he may not have one, but Dalton Castle has a great YouTube channel. I love Dalton Castles.
Yeah, and that's okay. Wrestling, you would think, if that's their livelihood, that's their main thing. Content creating is such a big thing that Xavier Woods is more known for his channel than his pro wrestling career, which is
I
weird
know.
considering he's a part of the longest reigning tag team champions of all time.
Even more than that, TNA Xavier Woods, ... Consequences Creed. Wow.
Yeah.
I know him from that more than I do than anything else. I was a huge Consequences Creed fan when he came out in TNA. And now his YouTube channel is more well known than his TNA career. What the heck is that?
Why didn't that stick? What? I
Because
feel
it was
like that
just
had
a
major legs. I liked it too. I remember. I didn't hate it.
because he just then ripped off Apollo Creed and that was it.
I'm not having that.
That was it. He just ripped from Apollo Creed and just said, you know what? Let's just keep this going and see how it goes.
God.
Oh man.
What are
Consequences
some of
Creed.
your favorite YouTube personalities to watch? Besides me, of
Oh.
course. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Um you're actually my third. My
I'll take a
first
bronze. Hey.
my first actually is it's a little obscured, it's a little odd, and it's kind of off the beaten path. Um, but I like watching, as of right now, um, political channels. The Ben Shapiro's, the Steven Crowder's, the Milo Yiannopoulos'. I've always been interested in politics um, being talked about in a formal video style or a full speech kind of a style. I've always loved those videos where you can learn a little bit from it politically.
I feel like
Um,
schmuck now because I was gonna say I am addicted to watching people with drive-through videos eating food, like KBD Productions, like shit like that. But yeah, dude, you're
mhm.
going all philosophical. We preach on.
Second one, man, I always love watching like Grapple Vision. I'll always, whenever I get the chance to, like, if I'm feeling like I want to watch something a little goofy and a little odd, I go straight to Grapple Vision and watch um, Wrestling Gets Real, the UWF storyline, which on my YouTube channel we did a whole entire series on, um, and just watch like odd wrestling factoids and just see what happens. Like it's always been interesting to me, especially with Lex Luger.
WrestleMania is
Big, huge
also.
Lex Luger fan.
Oh yeah,
Huh?
the Express.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
I'm
WrestleMania feels like the Tonka's channel too. It has that feel where you end up learning stuff. Another one, there's a tremendous channel. It's getting bigger, but it's focusing on like the territories, and it's like
mhm.
little mini docs on each one. It's really good. It reminds me of Grapple Vision stuff. I think our buddy V does a kick-ass job too. Cheap plug, but for real, like I watched V's stuff before, like really collabing with him and stuff, and he's another
Yeah,
guy that does a great job of is just a big brewing cauldron of just content, a mixture of stuff.
I love watching social injustice warrior stuff. It's just how he does it, his comedic timing. I love it. I would love to do more stuff. I would like to do something with Mr. V and Fuso, just once. But I would love to do just have a goof with him because I love just how he does his comedy. It's really great, really fun. Then number three would be you, Mr. Hibiki. Um, and then number four is watching kind of just random like stream replays on YouTube, like New Legacies Brawl for All. I love that series when they do the like UFC fighting with wrestlers. That's always been
Oh yeah,
hilarious to me. Um, and as of recent, I've been watching a known Rooster Teether or former Rooster Teether, Brown Man, aka Ray Narvaez Jr. Always love watching him play video games. Always been just a huge fan of just ridiculous video game playing in a live stream format.
some of the thing I used to binge watch like stream replays of like the awesome games done quick charity streams and stuff.
Oh
But I
yeah.
came across a certain individual. This is years ago now, but I don't I want to say I'm stalker levels obsessed with this human being. Are you familiar with Blue Glass YSG?
No, I haven't been, and I don't know the
My
name off the top of my head.
fucking lord. I cannot recommend anything enough for anyone not familiar with spelled blue glass, BLU glass. Yellow shirt guy is what it stems from, is the YSG. Um,
Mhm.
a god, a veritable legend at Echo the Dolphin 1 and 2. He speed runs them. It's amazing, and I cannot describe him anymore. You just got to check it out for yourself. But that's a guy I used to watch religiously. I don't want to say the obvious ones like fucking Bootsy or
Mhm.
Mike Matei, people like that, bigger one. I have really enjoyed and find myself binging channels like GameSack.
Oh yeah.
Brian Zane is tremendous. The angry video game nerd of wrestling. He's always been, and I know
Oh
he's
yes.
blown up now, but yeah, he's great. So see, I just go into it for like a quick fix. It's usually,
Mm.
even though when I do binge watch, I end up falling asleep because it's the playlist or whatever. But
Mm.
I guess I'm too focused on making stuff for my channel anymore. That's a thing I need to get back to is taking the time, and because now with actually having friends in it too, and you can relate totally. It's hard to
Mm.
watch everyone's stuff and have the time for it. You want to, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. There's so many hours in the day as it is. It's I need to get back to that. Just feel getting on YouTube to enjoy it as more like, well, it's work time.
You see, I never looked at it as work. I always looked at it as just having a goof, having a laugh, having a faff at just shenanigans and just having fun. Never take YouTube seriously, because if you take YouTube seriously, then you start losing fun. And when you start losing fun, then it just becomes something that you have to do. When you start losing the fun factor and just having a laugh at yourself, then where is it now? I mean, you become a monotonous megalomaniac channel, and you turn into like a Jake Paul and a Logan Paul who has to put out content every single day to to make their fans and appease them. You turn yourself into a JonTron and have fun, and just don't care whenever you put out stuff. I mean, you look at my whole entire YouTube career, it's me just having a laugh at things. I mean, the whole entire skate series is me making fun of all the skate montage videos that you can find on YouTube. The whole entire wrestling, the road to WWE 2K18, that is just me having fun with video games.
Yeah. It
It's
blows my mind that people are enjoying Hibiki Pro like it's NXT weekly. And when we don't put out the episodes fast enough, like, where is it? What's going to happen? I'm like, I don't know. Let us come up with something.
yeah.
But I don't feel like in 3 years I've ever lost the fun, but it does get to a point like if you put so many hours of editing into something, in a way, I don't want to say it feels like backbreaking fucking work, but it's like your
Mhm.
baby and you want to see it succeed. And it gets to that point where it's like a fun series. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're enjoying putting all of your blood, sweat, tears into something, and you want to see it
Mhm.
prosper in a way. And that doesn't mean money. That does not mean money when I say prosper. That means just sharing something you created as an artist. At the end of the day, if you're editing, you're creating art.
Yeah.
And that feeling of kick-ass community, like I've met you through just making content. You meet
Oh
people,
yeah.
and it's awesome. That's the good parts of YouTube, the good side.
Yeah, what is this YouTube money you talk about?
Yeah, you
I
some little
mean,
Debbie's.
what is the goofiest thing I ever put out? On my YouTube, I'm betting you have one as well. Just what is the goofiest video you've ever pulled out of Hibiki Pro or Hibiki TMD?
It's probably the newest series I've been doing, Tannen's trailers, where it's literally, and you've probably seen them after, and they make no sense. They make no fucking sense if you're not in on it in a way. That he's reading the back of Nintendo Power trading cards on Skype with me, and I'm just hitting record, and I'm like, okay, I'll just edit it as a commercial. But he does one. He does one exactly the same for everyone. Like he's a '90s like over monologue guy for movies or whatever. In a
Yeah,
world, that guy. So
yeah.
like you'll see like Super Bass Fishing is like the most serious fucking fishing game you ever play in your life. So maybe that or like Jesus Christ. I remember, I don't think the video is still there. It was one of the first things I ever edited, and I was so proud of it, but looking back, it's probably terrible. It was Johnny Cage Hates Techno. I edited in Mortal Kombat 2 sprites on a dance floor to Alex Wright's theme from WCW. And they were all gifs of them dancing, and by the end of it, I edited a little shitty fucking fatality, and I was like, ooh, maybe not.
Oh, that I have to go look and find that video. Man, that sounds like fun to me.
What about you? You say yours while I see if it still exists.
Oh man, my whole entire catalog of videos is just goofy weirdness. The streams, they're just something to talk to people and have a goof with. But the video series that I think I'm most proud of has to be the Road to WWE 2K18, because that was the point in my YouTube career where I'm like, you know what? I'm just having a laugh. I'm having some fun. Let's just go full balls out and see what happens. And the whole entire series just turned out to be great. And then after bouncing off of that, I do the Legends of the UWF, which is phenomenally hilarious. Me and Kuzan just completely wreck the whole entire just wrestling this chronological masterpiece of just shenanigans, and we just have fun with it. I think if there's one video to pinpoint what I would say is just fantastic artistry, beautifully worked marvel of like a golden egg of just perfection, has to come down to either, oh man, let me pull up my phone here quick because I don't remember the actual names of the episodes.
And by the way, while you're looking that up, that video somehow does exist, and I just tweeted it to you on Twitter.
Oh, yes.
And it's as terrible as I thought it was going to be.
Oh, don't say that just yet. I mean, you haven't seen any of my stuff. What was it? Street Kings and Hood Justice. Those two episodes, I think, if you watch them and just sit back with a can of Coke and a bunch of buddies
with a raspberry twist, right?
Oh yes, with a raspberry twist. Just sit back, enjoy that video with a couple of friends, maybe have a beer if you want to, I don't care. Those two episodes are just hilarious. The Hood Justice was one of my favorites because I proclaimed another boy for the boys table. ... OSW review R with a little circle in there. That one, I absolutely proclaimed my love for Ricky Ortiz because I've always been a huge fan of Ricky Ortiz.
With the towel? The ECW guy?
Yes. The rally towels.
Didn't they rename? Wasn't his name Atlas Ortiz and they changed it?
No, it was always Ricky Ortiz. It's so goofy.
But he had the towel and he looked like Carlito on steroids, I remember, right?
I know, yes. It was great. He was also a football player for the XFL as well.
I did not know that. Wow.
That was great. And also, my favorite part of the whole entire video, 7 minutes of Ricky Ortiz in the game show known as Chase. Have you not been introduced to the fabulous 2-season thing or 3-season TV show known as Chase?
I have not.
It is the real life version of a video game. What you have to do is survive a full hour in this map that they have created in these different locations. The episode that Ricky Ortiz was on was in the Universal backlot. So you were able to go to like Westerns in one place.
Oh God. Did he have the towel during this?
Yes.
Oh my God, you're lying. Come on.
I'll even tweet it to you as well. You have to go watch this because I have particularly spliced this whole entire episode of Chase with only Ricky Ortiz in it.
Oh my god, okay. I need this in my life immediately.
It's beautiful, it's great, it's fantabulous. My favorite part of the whole entire episode is him chasing down a guy, and then in the background you see him chase. He isn't the one who catched him, but you see him like run after him, and then right as he gets catched, he goes for the back pocket, and I'm like, oh, was he gonna pull out? And then you see the white towel, and he has the O in his face, and he just starts moving it around like, oh! I look for the closest towel. Oh!
Oh my god. Sidebar, how have they not brought him back to do something with Chad Gable? They both have a towel. He kind of looks like his big brother. That could work.
Because Ricky Ortiz is too roided out of his
He's too
mind.
busy roided out on game shows, fucking chasing people.
You see, here's the thing though. Chase didn't come out as of recent. 2008 was when this episode came out.
Wasn't he still active in 2008?
Yes. 2008 was when he debuted.
You know another one you could do? I don't know, you might have done it. Did you ever see the episode of Silent Library with like Kurt Hawkins and JTT?
Oh,
that's a good one.
That was a beautiful episode. Wrestlers in game shows have always been great.
And God, Booker T was so stupid. He was so dumb on the Weakest Link.
He was beautiful. I even love Stone Cold's comeback. It's just great.
God, where's that lady at now? I wonder if she's still alive.
She's somewhere in Britain.
She's evil, so she's probably pickled herself. She's eternal.
Oh yeah.
Somehow we got to pickling the host of the Weakest Link. That's okay. That's okay.
And then who else is there? Anything Eddie Kingston in that series, the UWF series, phenomenal work. The dude sells as like amazing. He sells an eye poke like he just been like salt was thrown into his eyes. He just sells like.
Can you do that sound one more time for everybody?
Blah.
Thank you.
It's just beautiful work that Eddie Kingston does in that episode. And I've always loved Eddie Kingston in the UWF as well as other promotions outside. I just think he's just a beautiful work.
He's a guy that's made for wrestling. He sounds like a wrestler. He looks like a sloppy, tough as nails type heel.
Oh yeah. He's beautiful work as well as his Instagram feed. He watches Japanese wrestling whenever he can, and it's the best parts of Japanese wrestling.
Captain New Japan.
Indeed. What is the other one? Oh yeah, we're still waiting for episode 6 there, UWF. Can you please release it on YouTube now so me and Kuzan can review it? We're waiting. They released it out like a few months ago in like March, and it's only on like one cable provider. We're still waiting for it on YouTube. Come on, man.
Shout out to our good buddy from Future Wrestling Podcast and Jenna Lee's Beauty Slam. Her and I, it's in talks of doing like a riff on wrestling type series. It'll be fun. Yeah. Some of the things I have in mind is like the Too Cold Scorpio promo from WCW was like, no, we're going to the game room. We're skipping school. That'd be
I'm highly suggesting if you are going to do something like that, please visit UWF for like the 5th episode of the UWF, because Big Baby Daddy wrestling was me and Kuzan's favorite part of the whole entire series.
I would definitely look into it. Sure.
I'm not even joking. Big Baby Daddy, beautiful work. Just mwah.
And we all know the legendary ones, but they're overdone, like the Jeff Farmer, the Tony the Spider, those classics.
Yes.
They've been, I mean, CM Punk and Colt Cabana, no one can follow that, what they did. Did you ever see them recreate it?
Yes.
Say what you want, but it's a shame those guys aren't friends anymore to do shit like that
I
too.
know. I mean,
Who
the
saw
only thing
that
they have,
coming?
I know, the only thing they have in relationship now is a lawsuit.
Yeah, the hell is going on? Fucking
I don't know, but man, Big Baby Daddy, right next to Jeff Farmer. His partner, I don't even remember his partner, but Big Baby Daddy is just right there next to Jeff Farmer.
I have some homework for you then, because we just reviewed these on Never Drew a Dime a couple weeks ago from World Class episode. It was King Kong Bundy and World Class is Big Daddy Bundy. It was ridiculous. He was dressed like Hillbilly
Oh,
Jim and doing the whole hillbilly gimmick. It was something. Plus he had hair.
really?
Yeah, he had hair.
Wow.
Yep.
I really have to look at that then, because I don't know if anything could top Big Baby Daddy. I mean, that was fabulous work, Big Baby Daddy.
I feel like Hibiki Pro just signed Big Daddy Bundy and Big Baby Daddy, and that's going to be a main
Oh,
event.
pre-warning. Please watch before you sign them up.
It doesn't matter because in those games, even a super heavyweight gets like Huracan Ron. It's like, what the fuck kind of physics is this shit? Ugh, I don't want to.
It's not even that. It's Big Baby Daddy. Let me tell you the story of Big Baby Daddy. Big Baby Daddy is pretty much a mark for Abdullah the Butcher. He characteristics are Abdullah the Butcher. His facial expressions, Abdullah the Butcher. His outfit is Abdullah the Butcher.
God, he's got his pants up to his titties. You're saying,
Yes. And the
Jesus.
best part about that is that when he takes off his shirt, his fat titties are just like bouncing up and down.
And somehow that's still better than Power Udi. Somehow, some way.
Power Udi, I don't even know where to rank Power Udi, because Power Udi and Big Baby Daddy are just, there's pros and cons for both of them, but it's just it's
Throw
like
them in there with fucking Giant Gonzalez, make it a triple threat. There you go.
make it a fatal four way. Add Big Daddy V.
Oh Christ, as Mabel, King Mabel.
No. Big Daddy V, because Mabel was okay. Big Daddy V was just this.
Yeah, Big Daddy V, you could see like the moon and the sun on his giant man breasts, at least his tats. I just
Man.
killed everything with that. Jesus. I just want to go back and check out Ricky Ortiz now because I forgot all about him. I haven't thought about
Ricky
him
or
in years.
Ricky Ortiz is just a beautiful bastard.
We know what else has been beautiful. This, man, I want to thank
Mhm.
you. This has been fun. It's been a blast. I can't wait for round two, but it's in the books one more time, Layne. Before you depart on I hope not too long. You're not going forever, but when you come back right before Memorial Day, happy Memorial Day, my friend. Where can they catch you?
Thank you. You could check out everything from the skate series that I do, which is just a goof and a half. Road to WWE 2K18, and the Legends of the UWF, all in their finest, fantastic forms on the Hammers Productions YouTube channel. You can find me on Twitter, Hammers Prods. You can try to find me on Facebook, Instagram, Plexstorm, your favorite pornographic websites, but you can't because you got them bad asses.
Badass! Yeah.
Bad.
As always, follow me on Twitter once again at DMD. Hit that subscribe right down below the reset button. Slam Pigs Podcast, Never Drew a Dime, Union Smack, all the goodness. This has been HIBIKI HIGHSPOTS.